Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Friday, the 12th of July 2024. So Nasdaq pukes to worst day versus small caps in 22 years. Gold soars near record high after soft CPI. And US were mixed as cooler than expected. CPI data saw a rotation out of the large cap tech stocks into smaller cap cyclicals. And finally, stocks rotate and bonds rally after soft CPI. And it's obviously going to boost the Fed rate cuts bets that have been going on for the last few months between the dovish and the hawkish bettors. And news today, well, actually, just go back to Thursday. Let's have a look at the CPI numbers. You can see there coming in at 3%. 3.1 was the forecast and 3.3 was the previous, so down 0.3. They're known as the CPI, but, the market takes note of it, and that's it. Month on month also down minus 0.1. And the core also coming in lower than forecast there as well. So today, what have we got? Probably a quiet day. We've got core PPI, another inflationary number, which shows a slight increase for the forecast. And PPI there, also a slight forecast. It'll be interesting today. Friday, opportunity to slam the price of silver, which they seem to do most weeks at the moment. So if those numbers come out greater than forecast, that's likely to be the case. And then 3 p.m. we've got the preliminary consumer sentiment that's out also, and that's to show a slight increase there as well. Okay, let's move on, have a look at the markets and kick off to the Dow and see its reaction to yesterday's lower than forecast CPI numbers. So we didn't quite get to the all-time high on the Dow. Thought we'd have had a run to it and then sold off, but no, it came in a bit sooner. You can see there we've got supply coming into the market. If you look at the range of the bar here, it's actually less in range for yesterday than the previous day, and the volume is greater, so there is some selling around, and that's exactly what we saw. When we look at the 30-minute chart, very choppy session when the numbers were released. Prior to that, the market was sideways to lower, then spiked up, then spiked down at 230, and then remained in a bit of a range. Overnight, the market is above the DP. It's not above the close, though. The averages are all in alignment in the 30-minute chart. You'll see the 200 there, 50, then go down to look at a bit closer, and you'll see the 20 and the 5 there in alignment. We need to get through the close to attack yesterday's high there. In the German DAX, up day for the German DAX again. Still some selling pressure around though, and this high of 18,664 needs to be taken out in order to move higher. Just depends on how the market follows through and interprets today's data, really. Yesterday we sold off in the mid-morning for the DAX down to the 50 bar moving average, and then once again before the release of the CPI numbers. Market up, then down, and then back up following the Dow and the S&P into the afternoon. Overnight, the market is above the DP, above the close, which is so far bullish, close to the high as well, nowhere near yesterday's low, which also has the 200 MA in the way. Before it can get to there, though, it's got a double support there with that 50 EMA and the psychological level there of 18,500. In the S&P 500, we had a new all-time high yesterday, but the market hasn't produced one overnight. It's sold off. So let's have a look there. So we've got 5654, and there you can see the main sell-off. This is what the news was alluding to, rolling out of the big caps, Nvidia, that sort of stock into smaller ones, causing a bit of a pullback there in the S&P 500 down to the 200 MA and all of these other green real support lines there, price lines. It'll be interesting to see if the market holds above yesterday's low for the S&P, a long way from the high, so the polar opposite really of the DAX there. In the FT 100, stuck in the sideways range still, not a lot to say there. The market was up yesterday. It's also showed a bit more strength than the other markets in that it's above yesterday's high already on the overnight. Very choppy yesterday, as you can see with the CPI numbers, but again, notice the market trades through the 200 MA there and the 50, and then it gets back, and then 200 MA 50 gets back, and then it's been in that direction since. All of the averages in a right alignment there, fanning out there and above yesterday's high. So the FT there showing quite a bit of strength. The US dollar came in for a bit of a battering yesterday, as can be seen there, with the market down, but coming off the lows because we've got a bounce here to the left. So no surprise, a bit of selling around for the dollar, but finding support there overnight. Let's have a look at the metals reaction, as the headlines suggesting there that gold went back to the all-time high, or heading back towards the all-time high. Starting off with silver, managing to move higher yesterday, but already being hammered overnight. Don't be surprised if it takes out yesterday's low. You can see already making its way back there at the moment. And in the gold market, actually, sorry, let me have a look. Yeah, that's the 30-minute chart. So the daily chart, gold putting in a far better performance there, driving through that 23.87. Gold is more favoured as far as the relationship is concerned with the CPI numbers than silver. Silver just gets dragged along when it's allowed to and not being manipulated. And there you go, you can see a different picture completely. Gold up and in the session yesterday and only down slightly overnight. Needs to hold above the DP from yesterday and the 50 EMA. So let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. And given a quick glance at these two markets, I would say that we've got a spike back up in the gold-silver ratio. And we have, as can be seen there, it was down yesterday, but then came off the lows and is now moving back to the upside there as well. And in the Far East, we've got 31.02 and 34.84, which is a 382 difference there. Yesterday I got it wrong. It was 390, not 310. Need to go back to school or brush up on my maths, mental maths. But 382 for the difference there between the Far East and London for silver. Right, let's have a quick look at the markets for yesterday and see what the DAX's reaction was in the 2-minute chart to the CPI numbers. So yesterday the market spikes up on economic news above the high, market then trading sideways and moving back to the upside, sells off as soon as the market opens there just after 8, down to the 200 MA, trail the stop down, and as the market comes back, getting out there for 30 odd points before the market reverses. It'll want to get back above the high and the close, the 200 MA, the 50 EMA. And that's exactly what the market does there. It trades sideways, the sellers disappear, and the market comes back. I wasn't there for this trade. I had a meeting in town, so I had to leave the desk. But the market moving back there, just above the high, back above those averages, the 50 and the 200 MA in particular. Prices then trading sideways to lower through the mid-morning, waiting for the CPI numbers out at 1:30. These came out better than forecast, which we've seen. Market spiked up, and then we see prices drifting back down to the high, the 200 MA and the 50 EMA there, before again bouncing off the high and the psychological level there as well. See how important these levels are. Up to the R1 as the Dow opens, pulls back to the psychological level there of 18,400. And then again we have a potential buy signal, the market moves higher, followed by a sell signal that doesn't quite make the scalp because it's just tucked under the psychological level there, where the market's already found support twice before, and then the market reversing and moving back up, as you can see there, again trading through the R1 and then just moving higher with the Dow there. So let's have a look overnight, see how the market's reacting, and we can see that we're already above the close and the 200 MA. But let's have a bigger picture here, look at things, and we can see that the high is not too far away there, certainly above that 200 MA where it's found support overnight. You've got the close, the DP and the psychological level of 18,500, which seems to be an interesting level for the German DAX. If we get through the high, we've then got the 18,600 to get through there as well. So that's it for today and for this week as we head into the weekend. So let's see what today brings with the PPI numbers at 1:30. Okay, have a great weekend. I will see you in Monday, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.